Ed Kranepool, the ailing Mets legend who has had 3 surgeries this year alone due to kidney issues, is miffed that neither Fred nor Jeff Wilpon have called to check on him. "I'm disheartened that no one has called me to see whether I'm alive or dead," Kranepool told the Daily News about the Mets owners. "After my 3 surgeries no one called. Yeah, that's an insult. I would call Fred Wilpon or Jeff if they were sick, but they do what they want to do." The original Mr. Met did have kind words for Fred Wilpon, saying the two have spoken as recently as last season. "He believes if he sees you, he comes over to you and shakes your hand and wishes you well," said Kranepool. "That's why I say he's a gentleman and he always will be." But Kranepool can't say as much for Jeff Wilpon, Fred's son, unable to recall the last time he spoke with him, exposing a growing divide between the heir to the Mets and their past players. "I don't know too many people that speak to Jeff," said Kranepool. "There's no warm and fuzzy feeling there with past Mets. We're not the Brooklyn Dodgers. We played for the Mets, but I'm not a shrink. I can't read Jeff's mind there. Show me a player that is welcome back other than John, Franco and Rusty Stott. It is what it is. It's not Yankees who invite people to spring training, who believe in tradition. The Mets are the Mets." It's sad for everybody. Fred Wilpon has long been criticized for celebrating and aligning his franchise closely to his beloved Dodgers of his youth, which spurned Brooklyn for Los Angeles in 1957, even designing Citi Field after Brooklyn's Ebbets Field. "I thought you had your own identity," said Kranepool. "It's not for me. I don't own the ball club. I don't have a say. I have no input whatsoever. It is what it is." Mets PR man Jay Horwitz disputes Kranepool's estrangement claims, however, saying that as recently as 2011-12, Kranepool was on the Mets payroll making publicity appearances, something Kranepool confirmed. "I did some last year, actually," said Kranepool. "I've done more for them than any 2 players put together." It should be noted that the Mets currently employ 80s Mets Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling as SNY TV analysts. In addition to feeling cut off from the team he joined in 1962 at the tender age of 17, Kranepool says he was misquoted by Horwitz in a New York Times story that references a dust-up between Kranepool and Jeff Wilpon. According to Horwitz's account, Kranepool was critical of the Met owners selling off chunks of the team in an effort to raise funds in the wake of the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme the Wilpons were tied up in, saying to Jeff, "I hear you are selling shares in your team. I don't want shares. I want to buy the whole team so I can run it better than you and your father." Kranepool, who's battling kidney failure, denies saying anything of the sort. "I never said that," quote. "I think that's Jay Horwitz misquoting me unfortunately," said Kranepool when reached by the Daily News. "I never went up to Jeff Wilpon and embarrassed him about running the ball club better than him. Would never do that to him and his father. I respect his father. I certainly didn't direct any comments about Madoff or those type of things. That's beneath me to do that. Jay Horwitz is a sweetheart and has reached out to me. There's nothing I can say. I think the record speaks for itself." Horwitz stands by his account, saying he heard what Kranepool said in front of a room full of people in 2012. "I know what I heard," said Horwitz. "Jeff wishes him well." How this confusion came about is unclear, though Kranepool thinks it may have to do with his failed attempt to buy the team in 1979 with Bob Abplanalp, a Richard Nixon pal and inventor of the aerosol spray. The team was eventually sold to Nelson Doubleday and Fred Wilpon, with Wilpon buying out Doubleday in 2002. Kranepool recalls a conversation occurring soon after the Wilpons took complete control of the team at a Mets event that did indeed get a little heated, though he says that was never his intention. At the welcome home dinner, I was a guest of the Mets and I just walked over to Jeff and congratulated him on his purchase from Doubleday, said Kranepool. And then he got a little testy about buying the ball club. The Mets selling off shares of the team occurred in 2012, however, 10 years after the Wilpons bought out Doubleday. Kranepool, who is focused on getting healthy right now, says he can't expend too much energy worrying about the Wilpons or the Mets anymore. There are more important things in life than worrying about how I'm treated at this stage, said Kranepool, who is hopeful he'll soon be infection-free and be able to get a new kidney in 2018. I'm not certain I will be around another week. Who the FK knows? I take everything one day at a time.